Strong man, integrity man. I am a man. I am a man. I am a man.
Good afternoon and welcome to the program, The Mailbox. This is aired every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. on Love 101 unless it's a public holiday. I'm Pastor Courtney Morrison and I'll be doing the program as Kevin unfortunately will not be with us today. It is May 29, 2024 and it is a wonderful day. I just want to remind us that the mailbox is brought to you today by Solid PVC Pipes manufactured in Jamaica by Fosrich Company Limited. Today's program is entitled Man Journal. Let me tell you a bit about it. Journaling is the process of getting your thoughts from your head onto paper. This can look very different to different people. From bullet journals, diaries, and planners to logbooks and morning pages, the way you journal or the method you choose isn't as important as the act of journaling regularly. One of the best things about journaling is how flexible and personal it is. There are no rules, and you really can make it work for you. The simplistic definition of journaling is the recording of thoughts and feelings, and a journal is the place where these recordings are kept. It's writings about your life, yourself, and the world around you in a reflective and even therapeutic way. Research shows there are many proven benefits to journaling. Not only can it help us develop our writing craft, but journaling can also do a number of things. It helps us manage stress and anxiety, positively affecting our mental health. And we know that is important, especially in this time. Two, to develop our creativity and build areas. Three, increase our gratitude. Just writing down three things we're grateful for each day can influence the impact gratitude has on our happiness. Gratitude is a must, right? Four, help to find joy in difficult times. Those are some of the benefits of journaling. I want you to know you're listening to the mailbox, and this is the program designed for men with guests who are men, hosted by men, and it's here every Wednesday unless a public holiday at 5:30 p.m. right here on Love 101 FM, the family station. It's the mailbox. I am Courtney Morrison. And to all our listeners, want to say thanks to you for making Love 101 your station of choice. We're talking about the topic man journaling. Journaling refers to the act of using pen and paper to put words to what you think and feel. It's a way to express and process your thoughts and emotions around specific events. Journaling can be a great pressure releasing valve when we feel overwhelmed or simply have a lot going on internally. Do you men keep journals? Is this not a female thing? We'll have those questions being answered today by none other than our guest, who this evening is Dr. Jermaine D. Gordon, and he's a creative architect. I'll tell you a bit about who Dr. Jermaine Gordon is. So, he's the unstoppable force blazing a trail of inspiration and transformation. Born as the eighth of nine children to Ira and Beatrice Gordon, he defies convention with the fervent belief that one's essence and evolution far outweigh mere possessions. He's a man on a mission. Dr. Gordon aspires to transcend boundaries, aiming to become a multimillionaire, a globally acclaimed speaker, a visionary entrepreneur, a prolific writer, author, singer, and composer. Having abandoned a secure career as an accountant at the Port of Kingston in 2017, Dr. Gordon has harnessed his time, talent, and resources to catalyze change among the youth of Jamaica. A thought leader and multi-award winning songwriter singer, he has crafted chart-topping anthems like You Are God, Holy and Righteous, and Shackles Are Broken, I Am Delivered. His magnetic charisma and powerful messages have become a guiding light for those seeking hope and healing. At the helm of the Love Has Hands Foundation, Dr. Gordon is not just an executive director, he is a beacon of hope working tirelessly to eradicate trauma and violence impacting children and communities. Simultaneously, as the dynamic CEO of Color Your Thoughts Media, a storytelling agency, he weaves tales of inspiration into the fabric of society through books, music, motion graphics, and art. He champions the message of resilience, instilling a collective belief that dreams are not only achievable, but also worth pursuing. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brace yourself for the man who birthed the famous rallying cry, "Let's make it happen!" Dr. Jermaine Gordon, where passion meets purpose and dreams become a reality. Dr. Jermaine Gordon, good
I had no
afternoon.
idea. I had no idea you knew that phrase.
Well, it is known and it is given and it's out there, Dr. Jermaine.
And look at my shirt.
Let's make it happen. That's nice and beautiful. For those who are listening on love101.org or viewing us, remember, we're live on Facebook. We are also live on YouTube and we are also on TikTok at Love 101 FM Jamaica. Man and man, remember, we want to hear from you. We need for you to leave your comments via WhatsApp line at 876-997-3125. That number again, 876-997-3125. Reverend Doctor, the two of us are in black today, and I am one of those who know why you say color me purple, but many people don't like when they hear the color purple. But fourth is forever! And that's fine for those who don't like to hear it. We will make it known wherever we are.
That's it. You have
so
to represent.
It's good to have you today, sir. We're gearing to go with you, but let me just say one more thing before we do so. Ladies, remember, should men keep journals? Is journaling a female thing? You can participate in the program by leaving us a message via our WhatsApp, Facebook, YouTube platforms. Remember, ladies, no calls or voice notes allowed, but you may WhatsApp, text message us at 876-997-3125. Dr. Jermaine, how you do, boss? You good?
Yes.
Remember, we normally do what we call a shout out, and I would love for you to join us in this shout out. We usually shout out and say Monday, we count to 3 and then say shout out Monday. And so I want you to join me after I count to 3 for you to help me to shout out to all those around Monday. All right? So after 3, 1, 2, 3, Monday. Yeah. Kevin is not with us today, but indeed, we want you to know that although he's not here physically, he still is here in spirit. Kevin and I have been doing this program for the past 11 years, and this year, July, will make it 12 years. Can you imagine? Wow. That's quite a long time together. This is the longest running male program in the history of Jamaica. And I'm not sure if not in the history of the Caribbean, but we probably need to check it. Has never gone on a break unless it's a public holiday. Also, Kevin is asking me to give a shout out to Gregory, who has been listening and benefiting from us on the show. Kevin said he met him at Emancipation Park. So, Gregory, you know yourself, you know who you are, and indeed, the shout out goes to you. I want to make a shout out to Analia Winter and Alric Winter, both pastors at Fellowship Tabernacle Portmore. Indeed, they had a program on Sunday at Emancipation Park called Pancakes and Prayer. And it's a ministry started by their 3 sons, Alano, Alejandro, and Andre, my superstar. Them know say he's my superstar. And to have 3 young males, and they were what? 11, 9, and 7 at the time they started. To have those 3 young men 5 years into the program doing this. Dr. Jermaine Gordon, don't know if you have met them, but Pancakes and Prayer in Emancipation Park on Sunday was awesome. I know because you have a lot to do with youngsters, and especially male youngsters, that you would have enjoyed this. I don't even know. I had to leave before the program was finished, unfortunately, but it was a great time. Don't know if you heard about it. Did you? Reverend Doctor? All righty. I'm not sure what's happening technically there. I'm not sure if I've lost him or he has lost me. But it was a great time at the Emancipation Park. Well done to the organizers. Well done to those. Love was a sponsor there. And so indeed, it was a good time that we had for the day. It really went well. Our producer, Jermaine Johnson of the Mailbox, was also there. And so it really provided a platform that really helped us a lot in terms of what we saw, especially for young men. And it was really great. Should men keep journal, Dr. Jermaine? Should men keep journal, or is journaling a female thing? If you can respond to that in another minute and a half, it would be good.
Okay. You want me to go ahead now? Yes. So here's a thought I want to provoke the listeners with. It's a personal record of one's thoughts, one's feelings, and one's experiences. A personal record of one's thoughts, feelings, and experiences. And then journaling also helps us to reflect on past events, plan for our future, or simply just keep a record of our daily happenings. Does that sound like something that has a gender attached to it? Does that sound like something that has a color attached to it? Journaling knows no color, no gender. Journaling knows only one thing: authenticity. And so it is an invitation to strip yourself from the artificial and connect with the authentic you.
We heard from the Reverend Doctor himself. Journaling has no gender, no color. It's a record of what's happening. And with that, we're going to go on our first break. And when we return, we'll hear more from Reverend Dr. Jermaine Gordon. It's about Man Journal. The program is The Mailbox. I'm Pastor Courtney Morrison. We come right back after these messages.
Hey man, I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man, I am a man.
Jamaica and its workforce are advancing quickly. Life-changing opportunities are arising. You need training and support. We are the Renewed Heart NSTA Trust, committed to providing new and emerging skills training and opportunities. Come to Heart. We'll help you claim your place in the workforce of the future.
Boss, we're gonna need some solid PVC pipes and conduits.
Then all PVC pipe not solid.
No man, solid brand. They make it right here in Jamaica. Them cheaper and it's good quality pipes.
Well, that is some solid advice. All right, how much we need?
Solid PVC pipes and conduits manufactured in Jamaica and available at all hardware stores across the island. Buy Jamaican, employ Jamaicans, and build Jamaica. Ask for solid PVC pipes and conduits and save. Call 876-937-5099 to place your orders today. Manufactured by Fosrich.
As a man living with HIV, a regular day for me, not much different from yours. I have to wake up and go to people and work in the traffic, but then when we reach, we can run some joke with my co-worker them. Sometimes we link up after work, or play ball, or just dip on my ends and kick back before we go home. You see how much we have in common? People living with HIV are a part of our community. Make we par. Protect, accept, and respect. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
When tape diapers are difficult to change, it's time for Pampers Easy Ups with 360 stretchy waistband. They're easy to put on and take off, keeping their skin dry and protected.
Changes are easy with Easy Ups.
Think ahead, make a plan. You got the freedom of choice.
Lark, long-acting reversible contraceptives.
I made my choice 6 years ago. I have an IUCD, also called copper T, and it will go and protect me from pregnancy for another 4 years at least.
My choice was an implant. It lasts for 5 years. And when I'm ready for a baby, I just make doctor take it out. Contact the National Family Planning Board at 968-1632 to find out more about the Lark.
Think ahead, make a plan. You got the freedom of choice.
Get a Samsung A05 from Flow for $8,125 or a Samsung A05s for only $9,000. Both come with a free 28-day unlimited social talk and text plan. Now that's great news. Visit a Flow store today. Available while stocks last. Conditions apply. I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man. I am a man, I am a man, I am a man.
Welcome back to the program, The Mailbox. I'm Pastor Courtney Morrison. Kevin is not with me today, but my guest is the Reverend Dr. Jermaine Gordon. We just want to remind our listeners that we're live on Facebook and YouTube at Love 101 FM Jamaica. You can leave your comments via WhatsApp line at 876-997-3125. We are also on TikTok at Love 101 FM Jamaica. I want to give a big shout out to a very special individual today. He's 1 year old. 1 year old. He is Caleb Morrison, son of Carl John and Camille Morrison. Can you imagine? That makes me an uncle, but they want to call me grandpa. So, or I should say I'm a grandfather, but I am called Uncle Courtney. So to everyone they're over there in New York. So happy birthday, Caleb Morrison. Very special one. First grandchild. Big things are going on. You're getting younger. So, Reverend Dr. Jermaine, we want to find out a little bit more about you. We want to hear about your experience in growing up. Were you born with a gold spoon in your mouth? Tell us a little bit about your growing up. Were there challenges that you had, and how did you overcome them?
You said I'm born with a gold spoon in my mouth.
I don't know. Or was it a wooden spoon or none at all?
Well, I had a spoon for sure when I was growing up. You know those spoons that work with the Dutch pot? Those long, yeah. Is it what? Aluminum or alloy spoon. I had one of those big ones playing. It was one of my first instruments. I would hit the table. I would hit whatever I could find and make a sound. God is not dead. He's alive. God is not dead. He's alive. God is not dead. He's alive. I feel him in my hands. I feel him in my feet. I feel him all over me. So that was my first instrument. Pots and pans, Milo cans, what we would serve oil in back then, kerosene pans. Yeah. And I was a drummer originally. It was in my teenage years that I started playing keyboard and flute and other instruments. But growing up for me, every day was trusting God experience with my parents. Food was not common. Absolutely nothing was common. Toothpaste, the utensils, the stuff you need, they were not common. And so every day you trusted God to provide for you. And journaling, in fact, was inspired by my mother because I noticed that she would always write down stuff on bits of papers. And then she said, wait, where did I put that little note that I have about Pastor Courtney? And so after a while, I said to her, Mama, why don't you get a book so you can document? And so my mother has been keeping books upon books upon books. I have 12 journals.
Wow.
I keep 12 journals today because And I guess that give away a question I wanted to ask you. What do you think my number one love is? I know some people will think it's music or worship, but my number one love, Pastor Courtney, is writing. Is writing. And because I've been journaling over the years, it has created so many works, so many proverbs and thoughts and songs and poems. I have over 34,000 proverbs when I checked the last time. In other words, if I were to send you a quotation once per day for the entire year, 365 days, I could do that without ever repeating for 100 years. I have enough content from just journaling and creating stuff. And so that is why I've become a mouthpiece, the journal man, encouraging men, encouraging women, encouraging girls, encouraging boys to journal. And in fact, I have a nice little surprise for all of our men who will stay until the end, you know.
Thanks very much. I hear you talking about the influence your mother had. What about dad? How was his influence in your life?
Okay, so in terms of journaling, my father wasn't the main inspiration, but my father was part of the main inspiration when it comes to anointed singing. My father would sing at a service at the New Testament there in Bull Bay. And once he's finished singing, absolutely nothing else can happen for the night. The elder gets up, he says, half an hour later, and just pronounce the benediction.
It was that impactful and that moving.
My father was the kind of farming, police, district constable, butcher. He was such an all-rounder. In fact, he's actually, well, yes, it's spring now in New York, and he has in his garden right there in New York, peas and callaloo and tomato and stuff. So he's that kind of person. He believes strongly in growing what we eat, raising what we eat. And so that's a big part of how we were growing in Bull Bay. 9 of us.
Wow, that's a large family. How did he manage to raise? How did both parents manage to raise all 9 of you? There was a program on television many years that said 8 is enough, and you guys were 9. How was that for you?
And there were
what challenges did that present? You got all the hand-me-downs, basically, man.
There were more. There's a blessing that comes with children that many people.
We seem to be having some technical difficulties.
That wealth comes with each child. And so our parents would certainly spend time praying, certainly spend time planning, and just being creative with their hands. My mother was what do you call her now? A dressmaker, a baker, a ginger beer maker, a school teacher. You name it, man. So they know how to turn their hand and make fashion, creating stuff out of what they have.
Were you one of those that were poor but considered yourself rich? You know, when we ask persons about what were their lifestyles like, there are so many who will say, boy, we were poor, but we never knew. We thought we were rich. What was your perspective of the type of life, socioeconomic life that you were living growing up?
Poor materially, certainly. We did not have the material wealth, but when it come on to values, when it come on to attitude, when it come on to things of God, righteousness, righteous living, for sure that sort of put us ahead of the game. In fact, I remember hearing my mother saying things like, people in the community would say that her children act as if they're better than everybody else. For what? Our clothes weren't more expensive. We didn't wear name brand shoes, but the standards by which we live, we pass and we say, good morning, sir, good afternoon, ma'am. That is just priceless.
They say that good manners take you around the world. What principles were given to you by those parents that you'd like to share with others who are listening in so that they can say, look at Reverend Dr. Gordon, he's done well. Let me inculcate some of these in my own life.
A very key one, Pastor Morris, is devotion, family devotion. And in fact, our foundation just celebrated our 8th year 2 weeks ago, 8th year going around into the schools, the community, the churches. And for our group of partners, what I did was to help them to have a deeper appreciation for devotion. So we looked at it from a physical perspective. We looked at it from a psychological. We look at it from a spiritual. And we also look at the whole devotion. What is the benefit of it? And so that was something that was big in my family. We gather and we sing a hymn, we read a psalm, somebody share a few words, and we pray together. Very, very important in setting the day. Very, very important in creating a focus and so many other benefits, you know.
Thank you, Dr. Jermaine Gordon. If you're just joining us, we're speaking with Reverend Dr. Jermaine Gordon, and the theme is Man Journal. But many of you may know him from his song that became an anthem in Jamaica. You are God, holy and righteous. I can't sing like him. He's anointed and he has a voice for singing. And so we're discussing with him about journaling. Is journaling something that men should be doing, and how does it benefit men? I want you to give us some answers. Yeah, we're going to ask you to sing, you know that at some point. But in the next 2 minutes, benefits.
Here's what I love about journaling. For me, journaling helps me to pay attention to whatever it is that I'm paying attention to. Now, people sometimes don't value paying attention. The eyeball has become one of the most amazing thing these days. People want you to watch what they're putting out, etc. And so, but a key thing about attention is that once you pay it, there's no refund. There's absolutely no refund when you pay attention. And so you've got to make sure that whatever you're paying attention to is worth your eyeball, worth your mind, worth your time. And so journaling for me helps to pay attention to whatever it is that you're paying attention. A second thing that journal does, it's fundamental. It takes into consideration the learning principles, which are look, listen, and feel. The fundamental learning principles of looking, feeling, and listening. So when you journal, you're looking at, okay, what am I feeling? What am I hearing? You know, what am I seeing? And so journaling is a key aspect of that. It helps you to connect with your subconscious. It helps you to manage your stress. It fosters personal development. It enhances your relationship with yourself, with others, and with God. It cultivate what I like to call emotional intelligence. It cultivates emotional intelligence. And then here's something that I created out of this whole journaling process: mind hygiene. Mind hygiene. In the same way we need to have oral hygiene, and you know the consequences of leaving the house, not properly, taking care of your body or your mouth, and you know what that will do. It's the same thing with the mind. If we allow the mind to stay like a garbage can in the kitchen for extended period, you can understand what will happen. So journaling for me creates that great opportunity for you to do mind dump. I hear I've never been to St. Martin, but I hear there, when you go there, Pastor Morrison, you need to remember this. If you go to St. Martin and you don't shower before bed, I hear there are some bad demons that will torment you.
Let's stick it right there. We're talking to Reverend Dr. Jermaine Gordon at 6 p.m. right here inside the studios of Love. The theme and the topic is Man Journal. You hear that? If you don't did, there are some bathing demons who will trouble you. We'll come right back after these messages with more from Reverend Dr. Jermaine Gordon. This is the mailbox.
I am a man. I am a man. Yes. Strong man. Integrity
Boss, we're gonna need some solid PVC pipes and conduits.
Then all PVC pipe not solid.
No man, solid brand. They make it right here in Jamaica. Them cheaper and it's good quality pipes.
Well, that is some solid advice. All right, how much we need?
Solid PVC pipes and conduits manufactured in Jamaica and available at all hardware stores across the island. Buy Jamaican, employ Jamaicans, and build Jamaica. Ask for solid PVC pipes and conduits and save. Call 876-937-5099 to place your orders today. Manufactured by Fosrich. Think ahead, make a plan. You got the freedom of choice.
Lark, long-acting reversible contraceptives.
I made my choice 6 years ago. I have an IUCD, also called copper T, and it will go and protect me from pregnancy for another 4 years at least.
My choice was an implant. It lasts for 5 years. And when I'm ready for a baby, I just make doctor take it out. Contact the National Family Planning Board at 9681632 to find out more about the Lark.
Think ahead, make a plan. You got the freedom of choice.
Hot button issues and insights. The latest developments in health. Your questions answered. 30 minutes of talk with Minister of Health and Wellness Dr. Christopher Tufton and members of the Health and Wellness team, discussing solutions to your burning questions, hearing your views and concerns. Every Friday at 11 a.m. on Love 101. You've got questions? Then call in for answers. That's On the Pulse with Public Health. Fridays at 11 a.m. right here on the Family Station. Love 101.
ILS is coming.
Get ready for another melodic time inside Love in the Morning this Thursday, May 30. Listen throughout the show for tips on how to become the best version of who you are in the future becoming you. Grab your cup of coffee and start the day right with the Morning Coffee Pick Me Up devotional brought to you by King's Corner. At 8:40 a.m., we take it up a notch inside How Would You React with scenarios and situations that make you stop and wonder, what would I do? What would I really do? And we wrap things up at 9:30 with The Voice of Power, brought to you by the Power of Faith Ministries. So, stick and stay with us this Take Me Back Thursday right here on the Family Station, Love 101.
I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man, I am a man.
Welcome back to the mailbox. I'm Pastor Courtney Morrison. I'm flying solo today. There's no Kevin Bailey, but my guest is the Reverend Dr. Jermaine Gordon. And we're talking about Man Journal. We're talking about journaling for men. Is it something that men do? And we're talking about its benefits as well. Dr. Jermaine Gordon, just before we left, was speaking about the topic of how journaling has helped with hygiene, taking a bath before you go to bed. Tell us about the experience again in St. Martin for those who may have missed it and what happens in St. Martin.
So in St. Martin, I'm told that if you were to go to bed without showering, then some bad demons will torment you for the night. I know personally what it is like to go to bed without brushing my teeth or taking my regular bath, and the way it affects the quality of my sleep. And it's the same thing, mind hygiene. I've created this concept of mind hygiene that you must dump your mind on a sheet of paper somewhere so that you are able to sleep. So many people at 2 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning are twisting, turning in the bed, not understanding that there is an outlet. Just as though you go to brush your teeth, it's very important that we practice proper mind hygiene and dump that stuff. And so you'll find people say stuff like this, Pastor Morrison. Oh, I didn't sleep well last night. I had a lot on my mind. But there's an avenue called journaling that is created for this kind of mind hygiene. The scripture also calls it renewing the mind, which is taking off the old stuff and throwing it out, the trash. You evaluate what the day was like, reflect. And what I love about the journaling that I encourage is that it's a safe place. It's a safe place to vent. And so when we go into the children's home, we encourage the girls, we encourage the boys that, listen, instead of venting on each other, vent on the pages of your journal, and bare your naked soul.
Reverend Gordon, talk to us. The benefits, boys to men, not only in terms of hygiene. You mentioned mental health, depression. Can this help? Can journaling help? And how does one develop the discipline to journal? It just seems, in my mind, something difficult to daily write, or sometimes persons may journal by the hour. Tell us, mental health. How does one develop this?
Men are less likely to seek help, as you know, when there are issues of mental health challenges, and so the experience that men would want to have with another man it's difficult to cultivate that. I remember during COVID, I was in South Carolina, and the bishop, my host, he took me out for breakfast. This was during the COVID, just before COVID shut down everything. And while we were having breakfast, I saw a group of Caucasian men. This was about 7-8 men, big-bodied men. They were discussing a scenario that sounded like this, that one of the men was having a challenge with his marriage. And the conversation around him was, do you see opportunities for reconciliation? And the men were just helping him to come to grips with it and said, if you go one route, here are the challenges, here are the benefits. If you go another route, here are some of the challenges, here are some of the... And I thought to myself, wow, what would it take to cultivate this kind of circle, this kind of community among our Black men? And so journaling provides a great opportunity for you to vent, for you to deal with the mental health challenges, depression, stress, anxiety. I like to call it emotional regulation. It helps us to regulate our emotion. Know your highs from your lows.
Thank you, Reverend. When you write, when you journal, when you put pen to paper, I've been told that there is a nerve that extends itself from your big finger that goes directly to your brain. I don't know how true it is. I've only heard about it. I don't know if it's just anecdotal. But reading back what you have written, how does this help? Does it help? Is it something that reinforces? What does it do?
For sure. Writing does help in terms of the memory and articulation. This is why the scripture encourages us to write the vision down. And when you write, you are becoming more certain of what it is that you want. That is why good businesses encourage us to write a vision, write a mission statement, a vision statement, write a business plan. Yeah. What was the second question you asked, Pastor Morrison?
I was asking, in terms of discipline, how does one develop the discipline to journal? Because there may be some difficulty in doing so, especially for men, to see.
So I want us to think about it like exercising or any routine habit that we have. The best way to get journaling become a part of your life is to treat it like a habit. Like you're on a routine. You get up at a certain time of the morning, you get your cup of tea or you go exercise, etc. Make journaling a part of your routine. When you make it a part of your routine, in fact, when we go around, we talk about habit. Join the habit of keeping a journal. When you make it a habit, it becomes effortless. And how do you get there? Begin to write down your thoughts. Begin to write down your feelings. Begin to write down your experiences. Something is on your mind, write it down. Something you're trying to focus on this project, but something else keeps coming at you. It is saying to you, hey, pay me some attention by writing me down. In fact, over the years, we have coined this phrase, WIN, W-I-N, write it now. We're saying, don't just write it down, write it now. Why? Because inspiration comes with a wind, W-I-N-D. And so if you don't spend time to diligently write it now, you will miss it. It's like a song. It's like an idea. It's like a concept. It comes to you. And in the same way it comes to you, it goes away from you and try to find someone else. So if we're not diligent in writing things now, we miss out on it. So to get the short answer to developing that discipline is develop the concept and the idea that once something is on your mind, that it's not going away, it's bugging your mind, write it now.
Thank you, Reverend Dr. Jermaine. Some men may say, boy, I can't bother with this journaling thing. It's boring. It is not really motivational. What sort of accessories, what sort of motivation, what sort of encouragement can you give someone to say, hey, you can make this interesting? Can you play music? Can you do something while you're journaling? What can one do to make it exciting?
In addition to doing all of that in terms of choosing the right place and environment, you can journal using written note. You can journal using voice note. You can journal using videos. There are video journaling. I cover that in my training. And there's also other types of journaling, like art journaling. I teach about art journaling, how to use art and journal your journey, etc. There are so many missions in the missionaries in the church that go to different places and are not spending the time to journal some of those experiences. And so I would say to men who say, boy, it's boring, it's not the kind of stuff I want to get involved in, you can journal through voice notes, you can journal through video. So ask yourself, what do you love doing? What do I love doing? Do I love playing music? You can journal through music. Because just today, do you have to go to a break?
No, we're not quite ready for
Just today, our newest son, he was to get his breastfeeding, but mommy was downstairs having a meal. And so I created a song to journal the occasion, to say, just 2 minutes more and mommy will come walking through the door. Just 2 minutes more and your breast milk will be here for sure. And I'm journaling that, and I took my phone, I grabbed my phone and I recorded it. So it's also a part of journaling. We capture history also through music in our country here.
Thank you, Reverend Dr. Jermaine Gordon. You mentioned that one of the platforms you can use in journaling is by coloring. And I know you have something called Color Me Purple. And the artwork, can someone journal doing art, make it interesting? Because all of a sudden I'm excited just by the concept of making it work by art. Tell us a bit more about that.
So that idea came about 20 years ago. It's called Color Your Thoughts. So it's putting colors to your thoughts and your thinking. And at the time, I had all these illustrators, artists around me that I would share an idea and they would send back something to say, is this what it looks like? Similar to what AI is doing now. And so journaling using art is really looking at what is it that I want to communicate, whether to someone else or myself. If I were to say to you, Pastor Courtney, when you think of yourself, what image, what animal comes to mind? What is a good representation of who you are? Somebody might say an eagle, somebody might say a lion, somebody might say a microphone, somebody might say an apple, So you start there in terms of the whole art journaling and understanding what represents me. An eagle represents me, or a tree, a grandfather tree perhaps represents me with all its grand branches and limbs and leaves and stuff like that. What it is that represents you. So it starts with just understanding that first, and then we move on to how do I document how I'm feeling? How do I document what I just heard? I am feeling excited. What image can I create? What can I draw? What can I cut out? What can I create using AI or find on another platform to properly and accurately represent what I'm feeling?
Wow, I'm getting excited myself about this journaling. I must confess, I don't have a daily journal. I will write things, but it doesn't happen daily. It may happen once a week, But this art thing that you just told us about has fascinated me in a new way. It's 6:15 in the evening here on Love 101 FM. I'm Pastor Courtney Morrison. My guest is Reverend Dr. Jermaine Gordon. We're talking about Man Journal. We're going to take our final break and then come back right after these messages.
I am a man. Hey man. I am a man. I am a man. I am a man. Yes. Strong man. Integrity man.
When you say Fosrich, you say electrical, SWA cables, conduits, transformers, and breakers. When you say Fosrich, you say lighting, chandeliers, and more. When you say Fosrich, you say LEDs and solar water heaters. Fosrich is electrical, lighting, solar, and LEDs. Visit us today, Kingston, Mandeville, and Montego Bay. Fosrich.
Think ahead, make a plan. You got the freedom of choice.
Lark, long-acting reversible contraceptives.
I made my choice 6 years ago. I have in a IUCD, also called copper T, and it will go and protect me from pregnancy for another 4 years at least.
My choice was an implant. It lasts for 5 years. And when I'm ready for a baby, I just make doctor take it out. Contact the National Family Planning Board at 9681632 to find out more about the Lark.
Think ahead, make a plan. You got the freedom of choice.
Receive words of strength from the Voice of Power with Bishop Dr. Delford Davis.
The battle of seed has been declared many years ago and is still raging. I will put enmity between thee and between the woman, thy seed and her seed. A war will be on perpetually until Jesus returns. But I know who has already won the war. I know who has already won the war.
That's the Voice of Power with Bishop Dr. Delford Davis, brought to you by the Power of Faith Ministries International in Portmore. Voice of Power comes to you every Thursday at 9:30 a.m. right here on the family station, Love 101.
Speak, my Lord. Speak, my Lord. Speak, and I will answer, Lord, send me.
Hashtag I love summer. Hashtag I love summer.
I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man. I am a man, I am a man.
Welcome back to this final segment of the program, The Mailbox, here in Love 101 FM. I'm Pastor Courtney Morrison, and I am alone. There is no Kevin with me today. I just want to remind us that today's program is sponsored and brought to you by Solid PVC Pipes, manufactured in Jamaica by Fosrich Company Limited. Thank you, Fosrich, for sponsoring the Mailbox. Dr. Jermaine Gordon is our guest, and you know I'm not going to make you leave without at least giving us a part of one song. You know, I love you, our God, holy and righteous. But the choice will be yours. But you have transformed journaling into a thing of excitement. You have opened up other avenues and channels and platforms that men can become excited about in journaling.
That's
Encourage
true.
some men who are listening in. You know, again, just wanted to reiterate some of the benefits. Just wanted to
I created something for
reinforce.
all the men. Pastor Courtney, I created something for all the men who are listening, and the mnemonic is MAN. M, mental health support. Journaling will give you mental health support. The first letter of MAN. Secondly, the A, journaling will give you accountability and goal setting. Accountability and goal setting. And these are key things for men. And then the N, nurtures emotional expression. Nurtures emotional expression. When I was at KC and the guys wanted to send a girl a note, that is how my writing got it's based, you know, they wanted to send a note and they needed somebody who could put some words together that are not just, that doesn't just sound good, but it connects emotionally. I was the go-to guy. So nurtures emotional expression when you journal. And coming out of, you know who loves programs like this? Publishers, book publishers. Because my experience in teaching journaling in Jamaica for the past 12 years, so many persons have written books and published books out of it. Here in Jamaica, in Bermuda, in Bahamas, in the UK, people, because now you begin to tap into so much more that is inside of you. The abundant to you, the subconscious to you comes alive. And so I want to encourage a man today that if you feel stuck, if you're feeling as if, you know, you can't connect, make head from tail, the beginning from the end, perhaps consider at this juncture journaling, keeping a journal, and record your thoughts, record your feelings, record your experiences. Because when you reflect, when you look back at dates, for me, May 29 have a significance. And for you as well, May 29 have a significance. But how aware are you of the significance of May 29? You only become aware of it by keeping journal and say, okay, what happened May 29 last year, the 2023, or 2022, or 2021? What happened? What is the significance of May 29? And when you do that, you connect with your deeper self. So at the surface level, I like to say that journaling helps us to document what we see, hear, and feel. But at a deeper level that I teach, we look at discerning. We look at strategic discernment and a little more,
Awesome, Dr. Jermaine. It is a magnificent way of encouraging men. MAN. Have we heard that acronym? MAN, mental health, accountability. Remind me of the end. Seem that I must be really getting up in age.
Mental health support, accountability and goal setting, and nurtures emotional expression.
There you go. I hope a man or a young man who is listening has been encouraged by those words. It can help you to overcome emotional, financial challenges when you learn to journal. So if you're experiencing those sort of traumatic experiences and you want to overcome, consider journaling. It seems to be one of the methods that will help you to get past it. Dr. Jermaine Gardens, we're almost here at the end, So as you continue to encourage, there are a couple of things that I have noted that you have put out and have asked for us to try to share with teachers and parents. I'm seeing a little green frog. Let me see what it is. The tiny green frog. Mysterious tale of the tiny green frog. I see I've put that out and asked that to be shared. Pour out in me prayer journal. Exciting stuff. How can persons get their hands on stuff like this to help them, especially our men, our boys to men?
So the tiny green frog, it is the latest craze. It's a story about a frog in a competition, and it's a challenge. It's an adventure. It teaches children support. It teaches children perseverance, and very key to our culture, shutting out the negative voices. And they can connect with me at jermainedgordon.com. The website is jermainedgordon.com. If you don't include the D, it might take you somewhere else, jermainedgordon.com. And they can see stuff about the journals. They can see stuff about the tiny green frog. You'll need to go to our social media pages to see stuff about what we're doing in schools and communities through the Love Has Hands Foundation. In fact, Pastor Morrison, the Love Has Hands Foundation was named from my journaling as a teenager. I came up with this proverb, love has hands. Love knows no gender, love knows no color, but love has hands. And so we named the foundation after it. So many things I've created because I make note of what it is that I'm hearing, seeing, discerning, smelling, feeling.
I know you have a ministry, especially to children, especially men. Let's make it happen is what is written there on your shirt. So the next 2 minutes, let's make it happen. Give us a piece of a song and just, you have 2.5 minutes to just minister to those as we close. Sir, Reverend Dr. Jermaine.
Oh my, I didn't walk with my singing voice.
You didn't walk with your singing voice. I think you do so everywhere you go, sir.
Let me see if this will work. Let me see if this will work.
There you go.
Are you hearing me okay?
Very well.
So this is a story of a friend who came by me one night to ask me to write a song for a competition, a gospel competition. And when he came and he said, "When is the competition?" He says, "In the morning." I said, "What? You come to me to write a song tonight for a competition in the morning?" He says, "Yes." He said, "I know you can write a song on the spot." I said, "That's not my problem. That's not the issue. Is how well will you represent the song tomorrow? How well will you represent what you're carrying?" And so I want to minister to somebody and ask, how well are you representing the name you're carrying? And so I penned this song. I asked him how was things at home, and he shared how he wasn't able to provide for his daughter her basic needs, her personal items, and he felt like he was a failure as a man, a failure as a husband, and a failure as a father. And so I wrote this song to encourage him. It's called I'll Be Okay. Oh, it's not anywhere. You can't find it on Spotify. You won't find it on Love 101. Only right here on
exclusive on Love 101.
I'm on my life's journey. I feel so alone. My enemies try to destroy me. Depression knocks at my door. But I know that life is more than what meets the eyes, than what meets the eyes. The colors of life are waiting beyond the darkest night, beyond the darkest night. The game is on, I'm in this fight. So I'll fight with faith in one hand and the Spirit in the other. I'll be okay. I'll be okay. Oh, I'll be okay. Oh, I'll be okay.
Hallelujah. That song actually is ministering to me personally. When you hear a song for the first time and it actually touches you, you know that the presence of the Lord is there. Reverend Dr. Jermaine Gordon, thank you for that. It's a prayer to someone out there listening, especially a man who might be feeling that he's depressed. He has failed as a man, as a father, but it will be okay. Our guest this afternoon was the Reverend Dr. Jermaine Gordon. Powerful time. We spoke about Man Journal and journaling and the benefits of journaling. So we say thanks to you, Reverend Jermaine. Thank you. You need to release that song. You need to put it out there. I'm sure it will positively impact the lives of many. So we say thanks to you, to Dr. Nadine Blair, our programs manager, Jermaine Johnson, our producer, Daniel Downs, technical support, Raquel Robertson, digital media. Indeed, we end the show with this quote: you can make anything by writing. C.S. Lewis said that. This was the program designed for men with Guess Who Are Men. The mailbox was brought to you today by Solid PVC Pipes, manufactured in Jamaica by Fosrich Company Limited. Catch you next week, Wednesday, June 5, 2024. Same place, same time, inside the mailbox. Monday. Next week. Bless you. Thank you, Dr. Jermaine.
I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man.